Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sammy Fleck. Welcome to Freeze Control. Here's the channel that it's happening. Get the fun facts that are hot, the facts that are cold, the facts that are going to blow your mind, the facts that are fun, the facts that are yeah, I hope you guys are ready to learn new things today. I hope you guys are ready to learn interesting facts today. When a person is referred to as smart, it usually means they have a combination of intelligence, sharp wit, shrewdness, and cleverness. While getting high SAT scores, good grades, and going to college might be what you think of when you think of the part of a smart person. These avenues aren't necessarily open to everyone, nor are they the only things that make a person. What the world's smartest people have in common isn't their education or their jobs, but that they stand out from the crowd. Making a list of the smartest people who ever lived may not be the smartest thing to do. After all, intelligence can be measured in a variety of different ways. Some believe in IQ tests, others place more stock in emotional intelligence. There is also something to be said about having accomplishments. Being intelligent is not the same as using that intelligence to create something that no one else can. To show somehow advanced in humanity, to be smarter than everyone. Many smart people do not live up to their potential. It is also true that prejudice and lack of opportunity have surely prevented some brilliant people from reaching their full potential and being recognized. Still, for the sake of argument, we will use all criteria at our disposal to come up with a list of the brightest human. Nikola Tesla, who was born in 1856 and died in 1943, was a Serbian-born inventor and futurist known for alternating current electricity, Tesla coils, wireless transmission of energy, the death ray, as well as predicting the smartphone, drones, and other technologies. His estimated IQ was 195. Some of Nikola Tesla's most amazing predictions. 1. The smartphone. Tesla envisioned a wireless device that would incorporate video and telephone technology and work over a network very much like the internet. Doesn't this description by Tesla from 1926 sound like the smartphone to you? Number 2. Wi-Fi. It follows that a guy who was very much obsessed with wireless technology could envision Wi-Fi and how wireless devices would work. 3. Autopilot and self-driving cars. Yep, he figured this would happen. It only took 118 years to make it a reality in an effort led by his namesake company and another larger-than-life innovator in Elon Musk. Number 9. Satyendra Pathak, who was born in 1894 and died in 1974, was a Bengali Indian physicist whose brain worked on quantum mechanics with Albert Einstein resulted in Bose-Einstein statistics. Bosons, a class of particles, are named after him. Number 8. Marie Curie, who was born in 1867 and died in 1934, was a Polish physicist and chemist. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, in fact winning it twice. She developed the theory of radioactivity, coining that term, and discovered two elements, polonium and radium. Her estimated IQ was 180 to 200. This is going to shock you. Number 7. Philip Emeagwali. Philip Emeagwali was born in 1954 and is a Nigerian inventor and scientist, reportedly with an IQ of 190. Voted as the greatest African scientist of all time. Although this claim is controversial, his math work is often credited as being instrumental in the creation of the internet. Number 6. Albert Einstein, who was born in 1879 and died in 1955, was a German-Jewish theoretical physicist who, for most people, is an obvious candidate for such a list as this. Arguably the most famous scientist who ever lived, Einstein developed the general theory of relativity, received a 1921 Nobel Prize for physics, and had a revolutionary impact on his field. His IQ was estimated to be somewhere between 160 and 19. Number 5. William Shakespeare, who was born in 1564 and died in 1616. Is widely seen as the greatest writer of English language and one of the world's most popular and esteemed playwrights. With an approximate IQ of 210, Shakespeare wrote such constantly performed classic plays as Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, and Macbeth. Number 3 and 4, Plato and Aristotle were both Greek philosophers who also had a major scientific influence on the Middle Ages. Plato was a foundational figure of Western science, math and philosophy, writing a number of famous works like the Republic. Aristotle was actually a pupil of Plato's, being a part of Plato's Athenian Academy for over 20 years. Aristotle had a major influence on the development of Western philosophy and science, writing on physics, biology, metaphysics, logic, theater, aesthetics, and other topics. IQs of the Greek thinkers are projected to be at 180 to 190. Number 2, Sir Isaac Newton, who was born in 1642 and died in 1726, was an English physicist and mathematician most famous for discovering gravity, one of the most celebrated and influential scientists of all time. Newton had an estimated IQ of 193. His book Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica was a foundational text of classical mechanics and influenced scientific thought for over 300 years. Things you didn't know about Isaac Newton. Isaac wasn't expected to survive as a child. He was born quite premature and estimated 11 to 15 weeks early. His mother said he could fit into a quart-sized cup upon birth. That apple thing never happened, at least not the way the legend goes. The story you probably know is that Mr. Newton was sitting under a tree contemplating his life when an apple struck him on the head, simultaneously making a light bulb about gravity go off. The real story, according to the man himself, is that Newton was merely looking out the window when he happened to see the fruit drop. Even then, some Newton scholars think the story involving the apple was entirely made up. And number 1 for today, Leonardo da Vinci, who was born in 1452 and died in 1519, was an Italian Renaissance man who excelled in a variety of fields from science to painting and sculpture to inventions. His painting Mona Lisa is arguably the most famous artwork in the world. The IQ of the man, who was perhaps the most diversely talented person ever, is estimated to have been around 200. Leonardo da Vinci, 6 interesting facts. Number 1. Da Vinci was an illegitimate child. Leonardo was a love child of a lawyer by the name of Ser Piero and a peasant named Caterina. He was brought up in a rural Tuscany and sent to Florence in his teens to become an apprentice. Number 2. He didn't receive any formal education. Da Vinci was the first trained as a musician and lute player to be exact, and was simply homeschooled. He trained under the Florentine painter Andrea del Verrocchio and spent days observing nature, which prominently featured in his works. Number 3. Da Vinci was ambidextrous. Leonardo was known to have been able to write with one hand and draw with the other at the same time. He developed a system of writing backwards to note down his important findings and to hide secret messages, decipherable only through a mirror. Number 4. Leonardo da Vinci was almost executed. He was arrested along with several of his male companions on allegation of sodomy and crime punishable by death in 15th century Florence. His case was dismissed when no witness came forward during the court hearings.